Hello and welcome to another episode of the Magic Arena Run. Today we're going to continue with our actual planned look at the Brazen Coalition. It's been quite a while since we last played this deck. It didn't do quite so well back then because there were the converted mana costs of all the creatures were pretty much all over the place. So we've made a few updates based both on what we got from Kaladesh and Ada Revolt, added a sideboard, but more importantly from what we learned because we gave this deck a little tryout at the Brewers in the Brewers Delight format, and needless to say, it was neither a Brewers Delight nor was it that great for our deck. But anyway, let's take a quick look at what the deck is about anyway. So if we take a look at our converted mana cost curve, we've front loaded everything. So lots of 1-drops, lots of 2-drops. Our 3 and 4-drops are now basic utility creatures. Well, a lot of our 2-drops are also quite utilitarian as well. So this is the epitome of an aggro deck. In fact, you could say it's more aggro even than the Boros Assault deck we had last time because there were a few big creatures there. So let's change the views. So let's take a look at what we got here. So we got 4 copies of Daring Buccaneer. Generally, it's a 2/2 for 1 mana. 4 copies of Rigging Runner. In good circumstances, also a 2/2 for 1 mana with First Strike. Well, I would willingly play this for 1 mana sometimes, depending on the matchup. A few copies of Shock. So I made a few quick changes there, but otherwise it's mostly pirates. 2 copies of Darfleet Poisoner. Pretty much a good combo, especially with Rigging Runner. We kept the single copy of Fathom Fleet Captain because it does generate tokens over time. We do have to remember that this is better as a later drop. We need to control another non-token pirate before we can start generating tokens. Speaking of non-token pirates, 3 copies of Kitesail Freebooter. Very good at controlling our opponent's hand. Actually had one game where it was freebooter after it was some 3 freebooters in a row. Got rid of most of our opponent's removal spells, so we were able to have free reign over it, especially with our cards much later. 2 copies of Direfleet Daredevil. So this will take advantage of instants and sorceries our opponents will definitely have, especially quite good in the control, specifically the blue-black control matchup. We got the single copy of Carrie Zev because she is very how can I say this? She's a very good attacker. Basically 3 power when attacking for the most part, and has some sort of evasion. One thing I've added, I didn't think of, but I added eventually, where it's 2 copies of Metallic Mimic. So since all of our creatures are pirates anyway, so this basically gives our pirates a little buff whenever we play one. Kept 2 copies of a Braid and 4 copies of Lightning Strike. There's a few more in the sideboard. Then 3 copies of Forerunner of the Coalition. It's good for searching for out stuff, but more importantly, turn 3 Forerunner, turn 4 maybe play for every 1 or 2 pirates you play on that turn. It's basically a free hit. And Captain Lanry Storm gives us some treasure. We kept a slight artifact team. We'll see it in the sideboard why. 2 copies of Darfleet Neckbreaker. This is one of our high-end shooter targets for Forerunner of the Coalition, and it's pretty much the only expensive pirate we kept. There are a few higher pirates that were originally in the deck, but they were simply way too expensive and didn't contribute as much. 2 copies of Vraska's Contempt. If you can get all 4, even if you got all 4, maybe 4 might be too much. I guess you can put 2 here if you can afford the wild cards and keep some on the sideboard. That's a very good choice also. 1 copy of Angrat because it's on team, and figured why not give the Planeswalker a try. Actually quite decent also. Making our opponent discard and lose life, basically pushing the aggro team. Gaining control of a target creature and sending it to the battlefield also very good, especially since we're mostly aggro. So that's pretty much our... So at least the abilities complement. In hindsight, probably the Cinder Barons. If I could get the Dragon Skull Summits, I would definitely keep them. Now that I think of it, I think we could just get better choices. Not Rupture Spire. Evolving Wilds, but it kind of hurts our 1-drops. I guess we don't necessarily need the mana all the time, so it's really a consideration if we could sub it with Aether Hub, so it's at least 1-shot color. But we have to note that we're going to need the color a lot most of the time, so I'm gonna keep the Cinder Barons here for now. I still prefer Dragon Skull Summit over it. I just didn't want to spend the wild cards on it. 2 copies of Arch of Oraska basically should also be Dragon Skull Summit here. We could use a few ways to draw cards, so that's where our sideboard comes in. So 2 copies of Duress for the control matchup, 3 copies of Scrap Heap Scrounger. Likewise, actually this guy's better in control because they will be taking out our creatures, so Scrap Heap Scrounger is a threat that will come back. More Abrade, Sorceress Spyglass, Fiery Cannonades for aggro or token matchup. Carry Zeb's expertise is actually quite good if our opponent is reliant on playing big threats. It'll be nice to gain control of their Scarab God. Also, we might be able to drop something in while we're at it. And a few copies of Unlicensed Disintegration, so this is where the artifact sub-team comes in. Not many artifacts in the main board, so we're not completely reliant on it, but most likely the matchups where we want the Disintegration is also the matchup we want Scrap Heap Scrounger. Now that I think of it, there should be Treasure Map here. Did I miss out on that? Hold on. Yeah, I guess I missed out on that. So you could put some copies of Treasure Map also. Basically, it's a way to draw cards, but I'm gonna keep it like this for now. I'll see. I'll just test it. I'll just test this out against the control matchup. See if we could benefit from getting Treasure Maps. Generally, we won't. Except it is a good way to draw cards. It might even be better than Arch of Oraska in that sense. So we're going to test this deck out by sending this to competitive constructed. Unless I lose really badly, we're probably gonna see this video in 2 parts. So we're gonna see how far we can take this deck. And Brazen Coalition 2.6, here we go. Okay, got our first matchup ready, and probably a pseudonym. I don't think this guy's fake. So off the bat, we do have an opening 1-drop. It's a shame we need the Black Source for a 2-drop, but we do have 1, 2. I'm gonna be figuring out which one would I rather have. The Mimic or Carry Zev. Actually, there's an interesting trick here, but I'm gonna just play this first. So I'm gonna keep this. Shame I won't get to play this immediately. So we're gonna start with Daring Buccaneer. Say hello. Reveal a pirate card. I'm going to reveal Carry Zev because I'm definitely gonna play her next. Let's see what kind of deck our opponent has. So our opponent is also black-red. I'm gonna play Carry Zev. Going to attack. Now if we don't draw a land, we're gonna try out something a little bit interesting. Well, it depends what our opponent does. Lightning Strike and Carry Zev is gonna be annoying, but can't. Well, a Braid. Okay, so that cancels that plan. So what I was going to do was cast Metallic Mimic, name Monkey, because that is because the token is not exactly a pirate monkey. So it would be so every time she attacks, it would create a 3/2 attacker as well. So that plan is out the window. So I'm going to just play Metallic Mimic, naming Pirate. Hopefully draw a black source so we can get one of these guys in. Well, we do still have a little extra action. Our opponent's most likely to be an artifact deck, I suppose. We'll see. Okay, nope. Soulscar Mage probably has some sort of spot removal, so I'm definitely gonna take this one out. So in this is the more aggro matchup. So I'm gonna put Scrap Heap Scroungers in. So still no black mana source, so this is where Arch of Orasca's really hurting us. But I can't let the Soulscar Mage stay forever. So going to attack with that one. But we're still kind of behind at this point. This is where having a good mana basis would really help us. Rekindling Phoenix, so okay, we're not drawing the mana we need, so we're gonna be hurting a lot. If we lose the Metallic Mimics, even worse. So Scrap Heap Scrounger. So this is a standard red-black aggro. So we're going to have to sideboard likewise. Okay. Yep. Our deck's quite stranded, so I'm going to concede this one right now. And we're gonna head to the sideboard. So now that we know we're facing up a traditional mono-red aggro, let's see. Fiery Cannonade will do a number on most of his creatures, except Goblin Chain Whirler. Carry Zev's expertise would be interesting. We can take their... We could take their Rekindling Phoenixes and whatnot. So what we're gonna do is keep this one. Probably... So Direfleet's also quite good. A Braid maybe not so much. No, actually we need to keep the Braids for the Rekindling Phoenix. So no Fiery Cannonade. I want to put the Scrap Heap Scroungers into. And the Unlicensed Disintegrations, not quite. So actually in theory our deck should be good if it weren't for the if we weren't that stuck on mana. Because these guys could hold off most of his guys. I can just keep the Scrap Heap Scroungers and drop the Metallic Mimics. So keep that, drop that. Probably drop one Direfleet Neckbreaker because he is a bit squishy to their removal. So we could add another Abrade in favor of a Shock. Yeah, I guess we'll adjust it like that. So a lot of these cards are turning out to be quite cute, but not so great. So we'll see how this goes. Really neat. Oh yeah, I forgot to greet our... Wait, did we greet our opponent? Well, either case, I'm not keeping this hand. Yeah, so let's greet our opponent. Yeah, we're definitely keeping this one though. And we're gonna have to put that in the bottom because we already have one. So we don't have action until turn 3. So let's see what our opponent does. But we're coming off a mulligan, can't complain too much. So we need to reserve our removal. So we're definitely going to turn 3 Forerunner, Shooter, something. Okay. Okay, Archer for Orasca. Yeah, we're gonna search for a pirate. Probably carry Zev. Actually, we can anticipate something being removed, so I'm going to take the Direfleet Daredevil. So our opponent knows is gonna see something coming, but it might dissuade him from casting a Braid. We're probably gonna take 4. That's kind of okay, actually. Scrap Heap Scrounger, yeah, so we're gonna take 4. Soulscar Mage. Oh, he's not gonna trigger it? Okay. So, we're gonna attack anyway. So he doesn't know we have Vraska's Contempt. But we're gonna get rid of that first, even if it's expensive. So Crew Tree. Okay, can't. So we have to let it resolve first. So we're gonna petrify the Heart of Kiran. So very expensive, but does give us a little cushion when our opponent hits us back. Now let's see if our... It's a shame there's no pirate that comes into play and destroys an artifact. That might have been a bit too good though. So there's the Braid. So we're gonna take 5. But looks like our opponent is hurting for mana too, so we're gonna shock. I'm gonna shock this guy first. Then gonna cast this. Then we're gonna take his Abrade. Then use it on his Scrap Heap Scrounger. So we're able to get some benefit from that. He will be able to buy back the... He will be able to buy it back, but it's kind of important for us to get keep Soulscar Mage off the table also. In fact, if he buys it back, it's perfectly fine. Bowmat Courier, sure. I think he is gonna buy back. So he is hurting for mana at this point if he's doing that. We're gonna play our own Scrap Heap Scrounger. On the other hand, we're hurting for playables. And thankfully 4 runners in the graveyard, so there is that. So I'm going to actually not attack. End the turn. So I'm gonna just keep swinging with Scrap Heap. It's gonna be annoying if he does have removal. Well, he got his 4th land, so there is that. Chandra probably gonna destroy either Scrap Heap or Direfleet Daredevil. Yeah, it's gonna destroy the Daredevil, so we're gonna take 4. So we're gonna swing back and hit Chandra, but now we're just drawing too many lands. Okay. So we're now kind of off to the races, and we are at a big disadvantage. We had a very good opening hand. We just never drew any good cards to come with it. And our opponent plays a second Chandra. So it's going to take out Scrap Heaps. Oh no, it's not going to bother taking out Scrap Heap Scrounger. It's just going to keep aiming for us. So opponent managed to recover. So let's see if we... Exile target or instant sorcery cards, so that's not gonna do much. So we're going to go into combat first. We have to hit Chandra, so it buys us a little time. Cast Direfleet Daredevil, which doesn't do anything this time. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. Have to play it out so that on the event that the next card we draw is a land again, we can still activate Arch of Vraska at least. Okay, our opponent's gonna drop something big. I suspect it's a Rekindling Phoenix. No, Chandra's Defeat. Okay, so wait. If that okay, so it's only that's kind of anti-Chandra. Okay, that's game. So we had the So not quite good in the implementation. Yeah, yeah, just swing with the whole team. Yeah, it's a bit overkill, but why not? So yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Just bring it back for the funsies. It's actually weird that it created two triggers though. Anyway, so first game was a wash. In hindsight, yeah, if we with a little more information, duress and unlicensed disintegration would have been great. So now we're fighting against someone from Vegas. This is probably one of the hardest decks to play because you are really all in for the most part. Okay, now this one has both colors. It has a turn 2 play, but that's it. I kind of want a little more action. A little more satisfaction, I guess. So we go first. You know, I'm gonna mulligan this. Okay, this is better. This is better. We can play Direfleet Daredevil, then hit with Rigging Runner. So we're going to mull down the bottom because we need a third land. And we can shuffle that one back up as soon as we play Forerunner anyway. So Cinder Barons comes into play, tap. Next turn, Direfleet Daredevil. Hopefully our so that one's just 2-1 for a striker. Not much value there. But at least we got something on the board. Typically, if I see white-blue, it's pretty... Especially the cycling land, that's pretty much control. So if our opponent wants to Essence Scatter, Rigging Runner, be my guest. He might even blink for an eye. That's actually quite perfect. Let's see. Seal away. Yeah, sure. Seal that away. Okay, we'll let that resolve. Then blockers, damage. Then we play back-to-back Rigging Runners. Now we still want a third land, so basically land for Forerunner of Coalition, probably get a Kitesail freeboot or start stripping our opponent's hand. Okay, got that one. So I'm gonna attack first. He probably has another Seal Away, but that's okay. If he casts Seal Away, that pretty much opens the way for us to use Forerunner. So he probably doesn't have Seal Away. I can cast Forerunner, but that's gonna probably eat this cancel or disallow. I'm actually gonna be surprised if it sticks. If it sticks, he's probably aiming for a big settle. Okay, disallow. So it didn't stick. That's okay. So we got rid of one disallow, one Seal Away. Okay, we're mana shy. I guess I'm concerned about Settle the Wreckage, but it will dig us into land, so I'm just gonna attack with all. Let's see. Is there Settle? Because if I don't set... It's either settle the Wreckage now or Fumigate right after this. Let's see what our opponent has in store. Okay, looking at his hand, it's Blink of an Eye. Wait, that's actually... Okay, so I can blink, let him get that to draw his card. I can shock my own Rigging Runner to deny him that. No, let's just... No, we'll let him have his card. because we can just cast it again. Maybe he might have a Fumigate next turn, so he was just buying time with or drawing cards for with this one. So he's now at Fumigate mana. It's also Teferi mana, so we'll see. At least we're the one with threats on the board, so he's incentivized to cast things on his turn. On our turn, to be exact. I can get greedy, drop Dire Fleet Neckbreaker now, but I'm gonna make him do stuff on his attack step. Okay, so let's think of it. Let's think this through. If I cast Direfleet Neckbreaker and it resolves, I'd really be it would look like I'm really foolish here. So let's see. Actually, you know what? I'm going to not do anything. If he does something on his turn, I'm going to shock him, then drop Direfleet on the end of my turn, then maybe drop this one for the win. Fingers crossed. We'll see. Our opponent will have to cast a Teferi at this point. He's casting Fumigate, so he's going to buy himself some time there. Yeah, so it's a good thing I didn't try to cast this one now. Could have gotten him to 6, but that's probably not worth it. So we're going to lose both Rigging Runners. He's going to go up to 12. I could use... So Braids are starting to look like a dead card here. I'm gonna actually just play Kitesail Freebooter first. Let's see what else he has in hand. Okay, Seal Away Approach. We're gonna strip the approach. We're gonna strip the approach. Never attack with Kitesail Freebooter, because he's at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next, he's gonna be 7 mana next turn. So I'm gonna strip that out. Then I'm gonna end the turn there. So I know he has Seal Away, so I'm never gonna attack with it. Yeah, he's playing the land. So I'm gonna play the land likewise. Let's see what that card is. So I definitely want Juresis in my after sideboarding. So I'm gonna end the turn here. So I'm going to be attacking with this guy. So it's basically a 5-2 every time. Okay, he's gonna cast out our Kitesail Freebooter. So he's gonna get it back, and he will still have Seal Away. Actually, I'm gonna let it resolve. Let's see what it targets first. Okay, he's targeting the Kitesail Freebooter. Yeah, we don't have enchantment removal on these colors, so that's gonna be an issue. Thankfully, he has no way to draw cards just yet. Okay, so I know he's gonna go up to 17, so I'm gonna just shock him right now. So he got his approach back. At least if he casts approach, he won't have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If he casts approach, he won't have Seal Away mana. He's gonna go for it. Oh wait, yeah, he won't have Seal Away mana. So unfortunately, we don't have any action here. So yeah, a braid is gonna be a dead card here. Unless by some miracle our opponent plays an artifact. Seal Away, yep, that was expected. I guess we could just abrade it. It's no point. Let's just... It doesn't serve anything. So... Okay, we're gonna get some action at least. Depending on what our opponent's last card is. So we're gonna take action. Search up for... we got another Direfleet Neckbreaker. Opponent's in the slow end, so... I think I should have another Forerunner. Okay, so I'm gonna do the Forerunner chain plan. So he's down to 5 cards. Still one more land. Wait, if he destroyed... Okay, he can't exactly sack this because it's gonna... because it's gonna bury his own approach. So okay, so yeah, we're gonna go into combat and attack first. Probably should have cast this one first, but okay, that didn't matter. So we're gonna cast this one. Let's see if okay, it's a disallow. Okay, so we're now both top decking. Could use an. I really wish this was a lightning strike at this point. He is 4 cards away, and I have no idea what he has. It's hopefully not a fairy. Okay. So the coalition chain plan didn't quite work, but so I just need to bring him down a little bit more. Another lightning strike would be lethal. Okay, so he doesn't have anything that important. Could be a negate though. 765. Yeah, let's make him cast it. What's this mystery card in his hand? Okay, it's not a negate. So we can get him down to 3. Or is that a seal away? Cast out. Okay. So you're gonna... Yeah, we'll resolve that. And it only hits an opponent, permanent opponent control, so we can't do shenanigans with that. So we're now 1 turn away from... Actually, no. After he draws his card, the next card is going to be Approach. Unless we can deal 5 damage to him right off the bat. Okay, cycling. So he's still... Okay, so next turn he wins, we lose. Okay, good game. So we didn't draw enough gas. This was after a mulligan already. So now we know we're racing for damage. So Abrades are gonna come out. Unless any strict removal spell is gonna come out. Unlicensed Disintegration is not great here. So we definitely want these 2 out. We want more Scrap Heap Scroungers. We want some Juresses. Maybe a Sorcerer's Spyglass. So we'll definitely keep... Okay, Vraska's Contempt's gonna go. Sure, he might have a Planeswalker, but we're gonna ignore it. Daring Buccaneer, Rigging Runner, Shock. Fathom Fleet Captain's slow, so I'm gonna drop that. Darfleet Poisoner. Darfleet Daredevil. The Daredevil's more valuable here. I'm gonna probably drop 1 Poisoner. So this is our control matchup. No big creatures just yet. I would not be surprised if our opponent started siding some in. But just based off the percentage of cards our opponent played, I don't think our opponent is equipped for with their own creatures. They probably should have. They probably at least have They probably have at least Torrential Gearhulks and, well, Teferi's not quite a creature, but you know what I mean. So we're definitely gonna go. Okay, opponent mulligan, so he probably has an aggressive mull strategy. So we're gonna. I guess we could chain Forerunners as a way to. Depends on what our next card draws are. So we're definitely going Daring Buccaneer first. Hopefully we can get another creature at least. Okay, there. We ask and ye shall receive. Got Scrap Heap Scrounger. Gonna attack. So we might be incentivized to lightning strike our own creatures now. because Scrappy Scrounger can get some back. Okay, maybe not this turn, but we probably should start chaining these now. So Forerunner into Forerunner. Okay, so gonna get Forerunner. Something for our opponent to think about if when they're gonna counter. So, because at least we know if our opponent counters this Forerunner, he won't be able to deal with this attack. So it's got 3 mana up. We're aiming for 7 and 6 next turn. So at least we have a way to deal 6. So let's force our opponent to do something. Expecting a disallow. Essence Scattered. It's quite... that counts. So next turn, we're just gonna attack. Hopefully we draw another land. We're gonna attack and just Lightning Strike back up. I don't think our opponent has the resources to deal both ways. Well, he might. We'll see. Captain Landry Storm. Okay, we're gonna attack first. Actually, my concern is Settle the Wreckage. But we're gonna go for it anyway. At least Settle the Wreckage will get rid of a few lands, and we still have action afterwards. Okay, show me the Settle. Oh, it's just Seal Away. Okay, let that resolve. Let's see. We need to hit for at least 3 damage. So he's gonna resolve that. So blockers. Let's see. Okay, he's gonna blink Scrappy Scrounger, so he's gonna take us down to 4. Okay, we're gonna resolve that. Okay, so he's gonna take 2 damage, go down to 4. I'm gonna drop Forerunner of the Coalition. He might have Fumigate mana, but we're gonna... So if he has Fumigate, we probably want something to strip the rest of his hand. So that's Kitesail Freebooter. So if he has Fumigate, and so if he plays a land and plays Fumigate, we can see what his last card is. Lyra's. Okay, that's annoying. So okay. So Kitesail Freebooter is not gonna do it. Swinging with these guys is not gonna do it. Okay. Opponent's gonna get up to 9. Actually, what we can do is we can just Lightning Strike our opponent now. No attacks. So our opponent's gonna hit us and bring... Okay, drop, throw away, pull... What did... Okay, he didn't throw away. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He might attack and just cast Fumigate, but that will open the way for us, so that's okay. So I'm hoping he does... So I'm hoping he swings. So he goes up to 6. Let's see what his last card is. If his last card is a creature that we can Lightning Strike, we're good. Walking Ballista, X equals 3. Okay, so he can... Let's see. He can block, take out 1. This is tough. He can take out one of our creatures anyway. I could just cast Landry Storm now. Let's see what... He might take out the Forerunner in response. Okay, no, he didn't do that. So he's going to go down to 3. We have to swing. So he's incentivized to block Lannery's Storm. Okay, he's not black. Okay. Let's make mana. So he's gonna have to ping this in response. Wait. Okay, if he pings this one, at least I kill the Walking Ballista. I can get him. Okay, so at least. So I still have no way to deal with Lyra. But guessing from that, if I somehow manage to survive this game, I am going to... Yeah, why not? So I'm gonna go down to 14. I'm gonna go down to 9. He's gonna... So I'm actually gonna be playing Kitesail Freebooters to keep blocking Lyra until I can somehow get a position where... Okay, he finally got land 7. Now let's see what this card is. Yeah, I should have anticipated this in the sideboard. So he's gonna go up to 8. Okay, got another land. So I can play Kitesail Freebooter now. Force him to show me what's in his hand. So he's gonna counter that. We'll resolve that. So I have to swing for 4. I can bring him down to 1 again. Or... Okay, this is gonna be a bit of math here. Okay, so we brought him down to 4. I have to play this guy so that we would have enough... So just to have enough creatures to attack. So we're basically just aiming for casting. He's probably gonna have to answer Forerunner of the Coalition sometime soon. So he's revealed. Oh no! Just the one card I did not want to see. So I now have to actually deal 11. I now have to deal 16. I now have to deal 16 damage. Okay, he's actually holding back. So let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Kitesail Freebooter first. We're gonna make sure he doesn't have a Settle the Wreckage. So okay, we're gonna trigger those in that order. So let's see what he has. Yeah. So strip that out, thank goodness. So now we go into combat with everyone. So we hit for damage. Now we can still survive blocking this one, but we're gonna go for the wind because he will have to tutor up a counter spell. So let's see if he finds it. He found the disallow, so that's... So he doesn't lose just yet. Now, we need to deal... Okay, so this is a auto block. I have no choice on that matter. Do I still have I still have one more Kitesail Freebooter. Depends on what this card is though. If he goes for the approach now, I can deal 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he can't... You know, he can go for the approach. I'll need to deal 6 damage to him. It's not impossible. I still have 2 Direfleet Neckbreakers somewhere in the deck. So he needs to decide whether he wants to hold up Settle or just go for approach. The Fairy counts. And that's annoying because he can still hold up Settle mana. So... So our control strategy needs to be more comprehensive than this. Kinda got overwhelmed in this one. Yeah, I kinda So dropping out all the big removal is kind of regrettable. Let's see if we can find out what that spell is though. So the interesting thing now is, if this somehow resolves, I can take Lyra. Swing with just 2 creatures. He will be forced to settle. Settle exiles it, so I need to. If that's a disallowed, that's
your crew for my freedom. A fair price.
So going to attack, and I need to send 1 more creature. It's definitely gonna get hit by settle, which is okay. So yeah, let's hit these 2. So he's forced to cast settle now. And that answers Lyra as well, so thank goodness. And guess what? I search for lands. So swamp and mountain. So our opponent. So I just need to figure out the identity of this card. Okay, Lyra Dawnbringer number 2, so that's a problem. I can make him get rid of approach, but I'm going to lose to Lyra unless I have something for it. Put target. Yeah, so he got rid of that too. So let's see. Rigging Runner is not gonna do it. So that's it. We have no defense against this one. So we're gonna concede this one, but this one was a bit closer. We could have aimed for the Teferi, but it was gonna eat the settle anyway, so that didn't matter. So let's see if we can. So that was a really bad one. I might actually do another one next time. But for now, that is our 1 episode. I'm probably gonna do another one. We're going to fix the sideboard here, but we're gonna lick our wounds on this one. So I'm gonna actually think this over. See what we can do for this deck. Definitely need to shore up our control matchup. Definitely need to figure out our aggro matchup as well. So I'm gonna think this out a bit. So I'm not going to show you the deck tech just yet. So that's it for this episode of the Magic Arena Run. If you like what you see, please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any suggestions on what I could do to improve this deck, well, there are the very standard ones like, oh, just play good cards actually. But I'm actually let's just leave it as an exercise of sorts. If on the assumption that we keep the pirate team, not necessarily the pirate tribal, what could we do to improve the deck? There are many ways we can do this in a sense while keeping on team. Also, the other way to think about this is we're trying to take advantage of the fact that we're not overloading the deck with a lot of rare cards other than what was provided. Apologies to those who recently just joined the beta, but a lot of the cards from Kaladesh were given to us earlier. C'est la vie. Anyway, so if you have any ideas, please post them in the comment section. I really would like to hear from you guys. Until then, that's it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you guys again next time.